So here's Obama addressing the bitterness and the anger on the other side.
In fact, a similar anger exists within segments of the white community. Most working and middle-class white Americans don't feel that they've been particularly privileged by their race. Their experience is the immigrant experience. As far as they're concerned, no one handed them anything. They've built it from scratch. They've worked hard all their lives, many times only to see their jobs shipped overseas or their pensions dumped after a lifetime of labor. They are anxious about their futures, and they feel their dreams slipping away. And in an era of stagnant wages and global competition, opportunity comes to be seen as a zero-sum game in which your dreams come at my expense. So when they are told to bus their children to a school across town, when they hear an African American is getting an advantage in landing a good job or a spot in a good college because of an injustice that they themselves never committed, when they're told that their fears about crime in urban neighborhoods are somehow prejudice, resentment builds over time. Like the anger within the black community, these resentments aren't always expressed in polite company, but they have helped shape the political landscape for at least a generation. Mm-hmm. Anger over welfare and affirmative action helped forge the Reagan coalition. Politicians routinely exploited fears of crime for their own electoral ends. Talk show hosts and conservative commentators built entire careers unmasking bogus claims of racism while dismissing legitimate discussions of racial injustice and inequality as mere political correctness or reverse racism.
It's all back.
And just as black anger often proved counterproductive, so have these white resentments distracted attention from the real culprits of the middle-class squeeze. A corporate culture rife with inside dealing, and questionable accounting practices, and short-term greed. A Washington dominated by lobbyists and special interests. Mm-hmm. Economic policies that favor the few over the many. And yet to wish away the resentments of white Americans, to label them as misguided or even racist, without recognizing they are grounded in legitimate concerns, this too widens the racial divide and blocks the path to understanding.
That's what it sounds like when you're serious about talking to the country about race. The exploitation of melanin. Really, that's really where we're at. But the use of a difference in melanin for political advantage while you're stealing from everybody. You create chaos between people. Chaos. You choose sides. In chaos, you can steal. And that's what's going on in this country. And it's all back. You know, it's almost as if the lights were on when Obama was president. The lights were on, and it became, just like it did after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, it became a losing proposition to say N, right? It became a losing proposition to play the race card. It became a losing proposition to say, one group was morally or mentally superior to another group. You were shunned, you were laughed at, you were marginalized, you were put in a corner because you were full of crap. But when Obama left, the lights went out again. And when the lights go out, cockroaches can come out of the darkness and they can do their thing. And the cockroaches are out. And that is why I keep saying, if there's a crack of light, if you can open the door just enough to get a crack of light in, the cockroaches will go back under their hoods. They won't disappear, but they'll go back to a place hiding behind a wall. You know they're there. I know they're there. But I'm not going to get post-traumatic stress syndrome because they're crawling on me while I'm sleeping. That is the difference between a president, whether you agreed with his policies or not. Although I will tell you, his policies took unemployment from 10% to 4%. And this is another little peach, okay? Lying about Trump's success with the economy.
Brad, hold on a second, Brad, hold on.
Yes.
You're talking to financial journalists, right? I don't know if I didn't know you were going to bring this up, so I don't have the chart ready, but we always put it on. I can find it and I can tweet it out to you. This market started going up on March 9th, 2009. And if you have a ruler, it's a pretty much straight line from there to now. So there is nothing Donald Trump has done to cause the market to be where it is right now.
And President Trump would like tax reform to get it done, but those who are working on it have said the president is doing nothing to advance that agenda. And look at those CEOs that are on that council who walked away from
Stephanie,
him.
I want him to answer my question, because you guys keep peddling this myth that Donald Trump is responsible for this market. You are a market guy. You have seen the S&P 500 since March 9th, 2009, right?
Absolutely.
So do you give Barack Obama credit for all of the stuff that happened from March 9th, 2009 to January 20th, 2017?
The number one driver of this
Answer the
stock
question,
market
Brad. Answer the question, Brad.
And what is the question?
You give Barack Obama the credit for all the stuff that happened from March 9th, 2009 to January 20th, 2017? Because if you do that, then you realize it's not Donald Trump.